Welcome to ProKitchen University, an online video tutorial series, version 11. This video is part of the Mac Native Interface series for Mac users only. Welcome to the Cabinet Basics Part 2 video tutorial. In this video, we will explore the cabinet right-click tools. In the Cabinet Basics Part 1 tutorial, we learned how to locate and place cabinets and utilize the cabinet handles. However, there are many more tools available for the cabinets found in the right-click toolbox. To access these tools, right-click on the desired cabinet to open a menu. This menu will provide a list of all the items that are available from this area. Hover down to the SKU of the desired cabinet to reveal a much longer menu, known as the right-click toolbox. We will walk through each of these tools. The first tool is Drag. This tool will allow you to move a cabinet left or right in relation to the length of the wall it sits on. You may drag the mouse left or right manually and left-click to secure, or, in the dimension fields below, type in the desired left, center, or right dimension, then tap Enter on the keyboard. Another method of moving a cabinet left or right is to left-click the cabinet in the plan view. Once selected, the left, right, and center dimensions will appear at the bottom of the ProKitchen window. Highlight the text, type in the required dimension, then tap Enter on the keyboard. You only need to enter a single dimension, and the other two will auto-populate once you hit the Enter key. The next tool is Move. When you left-click to select this tool, the mouse will turn into a crosshair, denoting the Place Edit mode. Left-click anywhere in the open grid to move the cabinet freely, or into a different wall zone and move into place as previously demonstrated. Note that with this method of moving a cabinet into a new wall zone, the rotation of the cabinet into proper orientation will not engage when relocating a cabinet onto the empty grid space before moving it into a different wall placement zone. So if you intend for this item to be placed into a new wall zone, drop the cabinet within the desired wall zone for proper orientation. Alternatively, to move the cabinet, you may simply left-click and hold the cabinet to move it out onto the floor of your design, or into a different wall zone. With this method, the cabinet will automatically orient in the appropriate rotation against the chosen wall. The next right-click tool is Rotate. When you select Rotate on a cabinet in a wall zone and move the mouse, the cabinet will only rotate as far as the space on either side of the cabinet will allow. If the cabinet is outside of a wall zone, with ample room for full rotation, you will be able to rotate the cabinet in a full 360 degrees. You can rotate the cabinet manually with the mouse, or remove your hand from the mouse, type in the desired rotation, then tap Enter on the keyboard. The next two tools in the right-click toolbox are 45 degrees clockwise and 45 degrees counterclockwise. These two tools will automatically rotate the cabinet with the back left corner of the cabinet as the fulcrum point, and will rotate the cabinet either 45 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise with a single click. Note: this selection will rotate the cabinet the designated 45 degrees within a wall zone, even if the action results in a collision. Also important to note: when accessing the right-click tools from the elevation view, the rotation tools will not be available, as cabinet items may only be rotated on the horizontal axis. The next two tools are additional directional movement tools. In-out, like the cabinet lead handle, will move the cabinet in and out from the wall. To adjust the in-out dimension, Simply either type the out or back dimension in the appropriate field below, remembering that out refers to the face of the cabinet into the room with the opposite wall installed, and back refers to the back of the cabinet in relation to the face of the wall. Once a dimension has been entered, tap Enter on the keyboard to move the cabinet into place. Or manually move the cabinet with the mouse and left-click to secure. Note: the In-Out Movement tool is also inaccessible from the elevation view, as the In-Out Movement requires the horizontal axis and reference to the floor space from the walls in order to move the cabinet. Up-Down refers to the height at which a cabinet sits in relation to either the floor or the top of the wall. When selecting Up-Down on the plan view, you must type in either the top field, which is the distance from the top of the item to the ceiling, or the bottom field, which is the distance of the bottom of the item to the floor. Then tap the Enter key on the keyboard. If we select this tool in the elevation view, we can type the desired dimension below, or manually move the cabinet up or down and left-click to secure. Alternatively, to move a cabinet up-down without engaging the right-click toolbox, we can simply left-click the cabinet in the elevation view and type either the top or bottom dimension, then tap Enter on the keyboard. The next series of tools in the toolbox are tools used to move the cabinets in relation to other items or cabinets within the design. Center allows us to center a cabinet on a wall, architectural element, or other cabinets or items placed in the design. When you select Center, the mouse will turn into a crosshair, which then must be placed directly over a stationary item. Once the mouse is placed over the object, left-click once to move the cabinet perfectly centered with the item. Position allows us to move cabinets side to side in relation to other objects within the design. For this tool, you only need to know one dimension, and that is the distance that needs to be between the two objects. Again, when you select the Position tool, the mouse will turn into a crosshair. The crosshair will need to be placed over the stationary object. Then left-click to engage the tool. Once you have left-clicked the stationary object, the dimension field below will read Distance, which will display the current distance between the cabinet and the other object. Now you may type in the preferred distance between these two items and tap Enter on the keyboard. Now the cabinet is perfectly placed in relation to the other object with just a few simple steps. Fit allows you to fit a cabinet between two additional items. This will create a dimension change for the cabinet and will fit the space perfectly. Select the Fit tool from the cabinet intended to go into the empty space. The mouse will again turn into a crosshair. Place the cursor into the empty space and left-click to fit the cabinet into the empty space. Using this tool, know that these dimension changes will be for design and visual purposes alone, and will not be reflected on the manufacturer report, unless you create the appropriate dimension changes within Attributes under the Modifications tab. Snap is the tool to use that will ensure your cabinet is snapped into place directly alongside another cabinet or item, and that there are no gaps in the design. So, if a cabinet has been placed any distance away from an item that it should be directly against, engage the right-click toolbox and select Snap. The mouse will need to sit on the item your cabinet needs to be placed next to. Then left-click. The cabinet will snap into place directly alongside the item and leave no space between the two. Back in the right-click toolbox, we will find the Stack tool. This tool will place a cabinet or other item above or below another item within the design and override the wall item alignment set within either the default or design settings. Let's practice each of these options. We will stack a cabinet above another cabinet first. The easiest way to stack a cabinet is to drag and drop the required cabinet into the middle of the room. Then right-click the cabinet, hover over to stack, then slide the mouse over and select Above. The mouse will turn into a crosshair, which must be placed over the item you wish this cabinet to be stacked above. Then left-click. The cabinet will then move directly above the previously placed cabinet, creating your stack. The stacked unit will now be outlined in purple, denoting that these cabinets are now a unit. If we right-click on either of these cabinets, in the menu you will now see the option of Stack 1. This refers to the stacked unit of cabinets and will have its own right-click toolbox. We will explore this later in the video. Now let's stack a cabinet below another cabinet. Drag and drop the cabinet to the middle of the room. Right-click the cabinet, hover into the toolbox to stack, then over and select Below. Place the crosshair on the item that this cabinet needs to be stacked below, and left-click once again. The cabinet will move directly into place, this time below the second cabinet, and is now outlined in purple. This is our second stacked unit, and now will be called Stack 2 when engaging the right-click menu over these cabinets. The next tool is Nomenclature. This refers to the cabinet's nomenclature, or the text on the cabinet denoting its SKU, bill of materials number, or the dimension of the cabinet. When you hover over Nomenclature, you will have an additional menu pop up to the side. The Move option will allow you to drag the nomenclature to a different location within the design. Once located where you desire, left-click to secure. The Rotate option will allow you to rotate the cabinet's nomenclature in a full 360 degrees. This must be done manually with the mouse, and a left-click to secure. The default option will restore the nomenclature to the orientation that has been set in the default settings. The nomenclature settings can be adjusted in either the default, design, or display settings. These methods will be demonstrated in the corresponding settings tutorials. The next tool is Copy, which will allow you to quickly place an additional, identical unit of this cabinet within the design. Particularly handy when you have multiple duplicates of cabinets with the same configurations, modifications, or installed accessories within the design. This tool will allow you to create the changes once and copy that altered cabinet and paste it into the design. Once the Copy tool has been selected, the mouse again is a crosshair. Move the mouse to the location in which this cabinet will sit, and left-click. Proceed to move the cabinet into the appropriate location as demonstrated earlier in the video. An alternative to the right-click toolbox is found either in the Edit tab drop-down at the top of the Pro Kitchen window, or from the left end of the top toolbar. To utilize either of these options, left-click the cabinet you wish to copy. Then navigate to the Edit tab or the top toolbar and select the copy icon. Then, to paste the copied cabinet into the design, immediately select the Paste option from the Edit tab or the top toolbar. Then move the mouse, which will then be a crosshair once more, into the design and place the cabinet as previously described. A third method of copying and pasting a cabinet is with a hotkey command. Left-click the cabinet to select. Then, on the keyboard, press and hold the Command key and tap the letter C. Then press and hold the Command key and tap the letter V. The mouse will turn into a crosshair, and now you may place the cabinet. This method will allow you to Command V and place as many duplicates of the item that you need. Once the last copied item has been secured, continue drafting as before. Replace allows you to switch out the cabinet for a different cabinet without having to delete it from the design. Once selected, a dialog box will appear. In the dialog box, at the upper left-hand corner, is a search field, in which you may search for the replacement cabinet by SKU or description. Once typed, left-click the Find button. Any matching cabinets will display in the bottom left-hand panel. Or, to search for a cabinet within the catalog, on the right side of the dialog box, the center panel contains the catalog tree of your working catalog. The panel below will display all the cabinets contained within the selected folder above. Navigate the catalog tree as you would in the catalog panel. Left-click a folder to open the contents in the panel below. Move your mouse into the bottom right panel and use the roller ball on the mouse to scroll up and down the list of cabinets. Once you have found the replacement you desire, left-click to highlight it in blue, then left-click Replace. If you no longer desire a cabinet to be in your design, activate the right-click toolbox and select Delete. The cabinet will then be deleted and you may continue to design. Another method to delete a cabinet is to left-click the cabinet. Then, from either the Edit tab drop-down or from the top toolbar, select the Delete option marked by a yellow X icon. Or you may select the cabinet with a left-click and use the hotkey command by holding down the Function key on the keyboard and tapping the Delete key. Add to Group will allow you to either create a new cabinet group or attach a cabinet to an existing group of cabinets. This will lock the cabinet into place in relation to other cabinets within the design. So when you move the cabinet with a left-click and drag, or engage the group's right-click Move tool, all the cabinets will move together without losing their configuration. When you hover over the Add to Group option, a side menu will appear. If there are no existing groups of cabinets, you will only see Create Group. If you have previously created stacks, groups, or solutions of cabinets, they will be listed below the Create Group option. When you select Create Group, a pop-up will appear in which you will give the group a name. Highlight the default text and type the name of the group. Then, left-click OK. Now this group will be a selectable option in the Add to Group menu. So I can add additional cabinets to this group to secure the configuration. This time, instead of selecting Create Group again, I can now select the new or other existing groups to add the additional cabinet to. Once a cabinet has been added to a group, we will find a new tool in the toolbox called Delete from Group. This will detach the cabinet from the configuration and will no longer be affected by any tools used from the group's right-click toolbox. Before we take a look at the Randomize Wood option, let's move down to the Change Color option. This option allows you to either create a catalog copy or utilize a previously created catalog copy to design in 2 or more different sets of global specifications, which will create a multicolor or multi-style design. If you had not previously created a catalog copy for your working catalog, when you hover over this option, you will only see Create Catalog Copy appear to the side. If you have previously created catalog copies, you will see the list of the created copies below. When selecting Create a Catalog Copy, a pop-up will appear that will allow you to give this copy a new name. Note: these catalog copies will become a selectable option in your catalog drop-down and are exact duplicates of the original, with no global specifications designated. So it is advised that the new name will reflect that this is a copy of the original. Once a new name has been typed, left-click OK. A new pop-up will then appear, asking if you want to set up the global specifications. Left-click Yes to set the construction, door and drawer styles, wood species, finish colors, etc. Once finished, close the Global Specifications panel. Now this cabinet will have a new style or color selection, and now you may finish your design utilizing both sets of global options by dragging and dropping cabinets from the appropriate catalog. If selecting an existing catalog copy for the first time in this design, the cabinet will then be reset to the default global specifications for the catalog, and you will need to access and set the parameters for the secondary catalog within this design from the Global Options panel, which may be accessed from the top toolbar. If you created the catalog copy as previously demonstrated within this design and had already set the global specifications, this option will then change a selected cabinet or cabinets to the second new set of global specifications. For more information on creating a multicolor or multi-style design, please visit the Multicolor Design video tutorial. Now that we have a cabinet that has a wood-grain finish, let's revisit the Randomize Wood option. This tool, when selected, will shuffle the wood grain that is applied to the cabinet. This gives you even more control over the appearance of the cabinetry in the 3D rendering of the design. The last option found in the right-click toolbox for an individual cabinet component is Attributes. This option will provide access to the Cabinet Attributes dialog box, where you may make alterations to the cabinet. For additional information on cabinet attributes, please visit the Cabinet Attributes video tutorial. In addition to working with individual cabinet right-click tools, you may also select entire groupings of cabinets to work with. To select more than one cabinet, place your mouse outside the group of cabinets. Left-click and hold, then drag the mouse over all the cabinets. When the cabinets are all outlined in red, release the left-click on the mouse. Now, this highlighted group of cabinets is a new option in the right-click menu named Selection. And just like the stacked group of cabinets, this selected group of cabinets has its own toolbox, where we can move, rotate, drag, or delete the entire group of cabinets. Also, in the Section toolbox, we can create a group, which will add all the selected cabinets into the added group simultaneously. Save to Solution allows you to save this configuration of cabinets as a solution, which you will be able to place into any design without having to reconstruct the configuration. When selecting this option, a new dialog box will appear, where you may assign an SKU, add a description or notes about this configuration. Then, left-click OK. Now, when designing in a different design file, you will be able to add this group of cabinets by selecting the Solutions icon from the left toolbar. In the dialog box, select the desired solution's SKU and left-click Place. Then left-click in your design to place this configuration into the new design. Also, for this selection, you may utilize the Change Color tool, either by creating a new catalog copy and setting global specifications for the entire group of cabinets, or by selecting a previously created catalog copy to change all the selected cabinets to the new global specifications for that copied catalog. Let's take a quick peek at our Stacks right-click toolbox, which will also reflect a created group's right-click toolbox. In this toolbox, we will see the now familiar Move, Rotate, Drag, Copy, and Delete tools. Then we will see Ungroup, which will detach the items from one another and can no longer be manipulated as a group. Save to Solution will allow you to save the stack or the group configuration as a solution. Save to File will save this configuration as a GRP file to your computer. This provides you the opportunity to give the stacked configuration or group a name for the file within your computer, and then offer you the opportunity to send the configuration to yourself to be imported into a design on a different device, or send to another designer for them to import and use in their own designs. Rename will allow you to rename the grouped cabinets. A pop-up will appear where you may highlight the current name, type in a new one, and left-click OK to apply. The last tool within the Groups toolbox is Change Color, which will change the global specifications to either a new catalog copy or a previously created and set catalog copy, as demonstrated earlier. Pro Kitchen's cabinet right-click tools provide so many additional options for on-plan manipulation of your cabinetry items, giving you even more control throughout the design process. Thank you for visiting Pro Kitchen University. Be sure to visit us at prokitchensoftware.com.